Hello and welcome to EFT with Lucy. My name is Lucy and I'm so happy that you're here. I just woke up and I really want to do this tapping in the morning, so I woke up like this. We're going to be doing a tapping on letting go of any of the previous feelings that we've had around the goal that we're working towards, and we're going to be calling in the it's done kind of energy. As humans, we simply are wired to be creatures of habit, and so oftentimes what is familiar to us is what we are going to be wired to continue to pursue, even if it's not the best way of doing things or very constructive or even pleasant and enjoyable. So when we have a goal that we're going towards, if this is something that you likely it's something that you have been pursuing for a little bit. You didn't just wake up today and decide, oh, I'm gonna do this thing. But even then, we probably have some old beliefs and whatnot that we're bringing into the situation. But oftentimes when we set a goal and sometimes we don't hit it, we can have all of these stories and emotional attachments to the way that things are going. And sometimes that's actually our body and our psyche and everything wants to cling to the way that things were, even though it's not even helpful in getting us closer to the goal, but it feels safer because it's familiar. So I want to encourage you to drop any notions of things being good or bad or pursuing this goal is better or whatnot. We're pursuing this goal because you want to. You want to call in the experience of whatever it feels like to have achieved this thing, the feeling, right, of achieving it, the way you're going to see yourself, who you're going to become in the journey of pursuing this thing. And it's really about the journey, not the goal, but the goal is important because we have to have that direction. But in the past, maybe you're so used to struggling with this goal. I know that I have definitely felt this way. Again, I think it's really human, is that we are approaching this goal from the same position of struggle and it's so tough and it doesn't work out and it's been really painful and whatever. We have all these emotional attachments to it, and the frustration of it not working out yet, maybe feeling impatient, maybe wondering if it's even possible for us. Did we make the right decision? Should we even be pursuing this, right? We can be really attached to this, and we're so attached to these stories that we don't have the space to actually think about, what do I need to do in order to do this? Who do I need to become, like I said, or just picturing it being done. And when we picture the struggle of doing it, it kind of makes it feel more daunting than really sitting in and steeping in and savoring the picture of, wow, it's gonna feel so good to have this done, because that's really what the motivator is for us to do all the challenging things in order to get there. Because if it wasn't challenging, it would already be done and we wouldn't ever have struggles, right? So that's the goal for this tapping, is we're gonna get ourselves out of this struggle mentality and into, wow, it feels so good that this is done. And when we're sitting in that situation, even if it's not, right, we're practicing a little bit of fun delusion here. But when we're sitting in the wow, it's gonna feel so it's done. And sometimes we have clarity of oh, this is what it took to get this done and whatnot. But when we're sitting in that, the payoff energy, it's gonna feel way easier to do the thing. So let's do it. All right, starting on the side of the hand, just take a deep breath before we even really get into it. All right, repeat after me. I have this goal that I really want to work towards, and I am actively working towards it. And I have all these feelings about the process. Maybe I've been working towards this goal for a long time. Maybe I haven't been working towards it for a long time. Maybe I've changed my approach, but I still haven't seen the results that I want to see yet. And that feels frustrating. Or I'm feeling the same way I always do as I approach this goal, which is also frustrating. Sometimes I feel like the definition of insanity, which is trying the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. And I'm so familiar with the pain and frustration of not reaching this goal, but it almost feels more satisfying to sit in the frustration and the pain than it is to actually reach the goal. Because then what would I do with myself? Who would I be without this strife and this struggle? What would I do to fill my time if I weren't lamenting about how this goal hasn't happened yet? Or how I'm such a terrible person, an inadequate person, because I haven't made this goal happen yet. Even though I have been so attached to the process of the struggle in pursuing this goal. I am loving, accepting, and forgiving myself. I'm ready to try something new. I'm ready to change my tune. I'm so ready to try a different approach. And I'm so ready to evolve as I pursue this goal. Even though it's scary, even though it's wildly unfamiliar. And maybe there's a part of me that can't even picture what it's like to have this goal achieved and realized. I'm fully and completely, totally and utterly accepting, loving, forgiving myself. And I'm ready to infuse some faith and grace into my experience as I let go of the struggle and move into the actual doing and the ease of achieving this goal. All right, take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Great job. Let's move to the top of the head. I'm so used to the struggle. I'm so used to things not working out the way I want them to. I'm so used to formulating stories about who I am because I haven't hit this goal yet. What it means about me. And I'll admit, I've started to believe the stories that I'm telling myself around why I haven't hit this goal yet. I can take a second to think about them. Maybe I'm so used to feeling guilty for never following through on my word, at least to myself. Maybe I really believe that nobody really does want to listen to me or help me on this goal or in this pursuit. Maybe I really believe that I'm not smart enough or capable enough. I'm not disciplined enough. I'm not whatever enough. And these stories may not be floating consciously in my brain. But when I think about how I reflect on myself in the day, when I go to sleep, and this goal hasn't happened yet, what are the stories that I'm telling myself about this situation? Am I blaming myself? Am I totally saying it's totally out of my control, there's nothing I can do about it? Like taking both too much personal accountability and also not enough personal accountability. I really want to find the middle ground. And I can really picture myself being so attached and emotionally worked up by this thing not happening yet. It's almost like I can't get over the pain of the fact it hasn't happened yet. So I'm gonna sit in it and be frustrated for a second. Sit in it and be really disappointed. Maybe say, yeah, maybe a lot of it is out of my control. And that's hard to accept. But I'm letting go of focusing so much on this pain and suffering and this struggle. I'm not bypassing it or trying to gaslight myself into saying, oh, it's not happening or it's not important. I can validate my feelings around this and also recognize it's time to do something different. Maybe instead of feeling frustrated or trying to motivate myself by saying I'm not good enough and criticizing myself and perpetuating shame stories, maybe I can focus on how to empower myself. Maybe I can focus on how good it's going to feel to have it done. Maybe I can focus on what it will take to make myself feel like I actually can influence this situation. I can acknowledge that there's some aspects of it that are out of my control. But I can acknowledge it doesn't mean I shouldn't try. The truth is I'm worth the effort. And the truth is, I wouldn't have this goal if it wasn't meant for me. And the truth is, setting my sights on a goal and having some struggle and challenges means I'm growing in a way that feels satisfying to my soul. Even if it feels frustrating and challenging as a human, that has to go through the process of change. But I really want to change my ways. And so I'm letting go of the attachment to the struggle. And I'm really setting my sights on what it will feel like to have this goal achieved. Maybe I can close my eyes and picture it happening. I'm gonna wake up in the same bed that I wake up in every day, except I'm gonna remember the news that, oh my gosh, this happened. Maybe I can imagine what it will feel like to be proud of myself. I put in a lot of growth and work. Maybe I can imagine being proud of myself for putting myself out of my comfort zone. Thinking in new ways, talking to new people, and having the results that I want to have. Telling the first person I want to tell when this thing happens. Telling my friends, my family, oh my gosh, I did this thing. How good does it feel to have done this thing? How good does it feel to look at my life and say, wow, this finally happened. It feels so good that this is done and over with. I'm so proud of myself. It feels so good to prove myself wrong. Because maybe at one point I thought I wasn't capable of this, but it actually happened. It feels so good to get what I want, to work towards a goal and actually feel the satisfaction of results. I'm proud of myself for doing things differently. Maybe I didn't criticize myself along the way like I normally do. Maybe I celebrated all the effort that I put in. Maybe I can be proud of how I was confident enough to keep staying on the path, even when I didn't have immediate feedback. And I did the hard thing because I really believed in myself, and I talked myself up. And I took action even though I wasn't certain. I caught my typical ways of self-sabotage, saying, oh, it's not that important, I'll do it tomorrow. Or whatever I typically do and say to avoid pursuing this goal. Not this time. I freaking did the thing this time. So even though it was really hard to even imagine this happening, to even imagine myself hitting this goal, achieving this dream, I'm loving, accepting, and forgiving myself. Forgiving myself for ever doubting myself, and sending love to the part of me that really struggled in the pursuit of this goal. I'm sitting in the feeling of how good it is to get it done. And I am ready to take action now. Ready to do whatever it is I need to do in order to feel that goal. Taking action from the energy of it's done and it feels great. I'm ready to go out and kick some butt. Ready to go out and cheer myself on as I do new things and achieve new heights. All right, take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, and let it go. Send the energy of it's done. I'm celebrating it being done. Great job, I'm so proud of you. I know that there's a little bit of delusion in this, but hopefully you can feel really connected to the energy of it's done, and I'm gonna take action no matter what it takes to achieve that goal, because it can make the obstacles just feel a little bit smaller and a little bit more tackleable. I don't know the word for that. But anyway, thank you so much for all the comments that you always leave on my videos. It really helps me to know that this is landing with you. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to help you in your life. And so when I hear that it is helpful, I really appreciate that, and it helps me create more. So I hope that you go out, take some sort of action like right now towards whatever the goal is that you have been envisioning with this video, whether it's writing it down, whether it's putting it into your Google Calendar or whatever thing, or maybe it's actually like going out and taking like a really big scary action, calling the person you need to call, or I don't know, whatever it is that it is you are working towards. Just go take one little step and show yourself that it's actually easier than you think, because I think oftentimes we can like build all the things that we need to do up in our head and say, oh my God, it's gonna take forever. My wife and I often laugh about how sometimes we're like, oh my God, it's gonna be so hard to like do all the laundry or whatever. And then when we actually do the task, it's like I put way more action into worrying about it than actually doing it. And the actual doing of it was so easy. So let's get rid of the worry. Just go do the thing. Let me know how you feel afterwards. Let me know what you achieve. I would love, love, love to hear what happens because you did this tapping. I'm so proud of you. Sending all the love, and I'll see you in the next video.